Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Mr. Bill. You can call me Mr. Bill, you can call me Mr. B. I fellowship with Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, and you might know it as Friendship Charlotte. And it's a joy for me to share this book with you today. We've got a children's mystery, and the mystery involves some characters that I'm sure you're familiar with. Let me introduce the book. The book is entitled Minnie Mouse, A Magical Story. Okay, and here's Minnie Mouse. How do you know it's Minnie? Well, Minnie has a bow in her hair, and Minnie has a bow in her hair, and she looks different from Mickey. Okay, the characters in this book are Minnie Mouse. Okay, I'm going to introduce them, and Daisy Duck. You know it's Daisy because Daisy has the pink ribbon as well as pink shoes. Okay, Daisy Duck, and this is Minnie Mouse, and you also have Donald Duck. You've got Mickey Mouse, and you've got Goofy. You've got Mr. Poke or Mrs. Poke, and you've got another store owner that we'll highlight as we move further into the book. Okay. So you see there's a discussion, and if you notice, there's something different about this picture, and that difference is there's greenery here, but there's no flowers. Okay, but there is a remaining flower on the ground, and it appears that someone has cut it off. So that's a clue. Okay, that's a clue when it comes to this book. Let me introduce the title again, Minnie Mouse, and it's Minnie's Mysteries, The Flower Thief, by Catherine Hapka. Okay, it's illustrated by DeSicchio Digital Arts, and it's a Paragon book that was copyrighted in 2011. So let's get started. Okay. One spring day, Daisy Duck rang Minnie Mouse's doorbell. "Hi, Minnie," Daisy said. "I brought you some marigolds from my garden." Okay. And there's a squirrel back there looking over the daffodils. You see, the daffodils had been cut, but there's one still on the ground. She said, "Daisy, you're a dear," said Minnie. "They'll look perfect with my daffodils." "Definitely," Daisy agreed. "Daffodils are my favorite flower." "Mine too," said Minnie. But when the friends went out to Minnie's backyard, they had a big surprise. "My daffodils," Minnie shrieked. "They're gone." Okay, so Minnie comes out, Daisy's out in the yard, and they see the greenery, but they don't see but one daffodil, and that's lying on the ground. "What's happened?" Minnie cried. "They were here yesterday. The stems are still here," Daisy pointed out. Minnie looked more closely. "You're right," she said, "but the flowers are missing. It looks like someone chopped them off with something sharp." "This is terrible," Daisy said. "It must be a flower thief." "What's this?" Daisy asked a moment later. She pulled a few strands of fuzzy white hair off a bush near the daffodil patch. "Is it a clue?" Minnie asked. "Maybe the flower thief left it." "Maybe," Daisy said, "or maybe it's from Fluffy's bow." So they're trying to figure out where this fluffy substance, this white hair, came from. Okay? Minnie Mouse, Daisy Duck, and the squirrel. Okay? Oh, I love the colors in these books. They're so vivid and so bright. A moment later, Minnie's doorbell rang. Mickey Mouse was standing on the porch. That's Mickey right there. "Hi, Minnie," he said shyly. "I brought you a present." He held out a big bunch of daffodils, and they were tied with a fluffy white ribbon. "Oh, Mickey," Minnie cried. "How could you? You cut down my daffodils." Oh, so she thought it was Mickey, but it wasn't Mickey. And Mickey says, or should I say Minnie says, "What do you mean, Minnie?" Mickey exclaimed, "I bought these at Power's flower shop because I know daffodils are your favorite flowers." Minnie smiled. "Really?" she said. She was glad that Mickey wasn't the flower thief. She was glad that Mickey wasn't the flower thief. He hadn't stolen or cut off her flowers. Minnie, Daisy, and Mickey decided to look around town for the flower thief. So here they go, walking downtown. They headed to the park and found Goofy. Oh, there's Goofy. I guess Goofy's the dog, with a daffodil in his lapel. And he was playing with a yo-yo that had fuzzy white string. "Gosh, Minnie," Goofy said, "I didn't do it. This daffodil came from Power's flower shop. Mr. Power's having a sale on daffodils today." "Really?" Minnie said. "That's quite a coincidence." Daisy nodded. "Maybe we'd better check out Mr. Power's flowers right now." So now they're going to Mr. Power's flower shop. The four friends went to Power's Flowers. They peeked in the window. "That's Mr. Power's," Mickey said. Minnie saw that the shopkeeper had a sharp pair of scissors and a fuzzy white mustache, and his shop was full of daffodils. "He did it," she cried. "I know it." Daffodil sale. Oh, he's got all these daffodils, and he's cutting off the green stems, and he's putting them out here in a display dish. Oh, Mr. Powers. Minnie and her friends burst into the shop. "Where did you get these daffodils?" Minnie asked. "From a farmer named Mrs. Pote," Mr. Powers answered. She delivers daffodils here every day. But today she brought dozens of extras." Minnie wondered if Mrs. Pote could have been the prowler. Minnie wondered, and I guess they realized that it wasn't Mr. Powers. Mr. Power pointed. "That away," he said. "You can't miss her. She has fuzzy white hair." So they think that's an additional clue to help them figure out just who had absconded with the daffodils. Okay, so they walk to Pote's Goats. All right, you see a goat there. You see the friends. You see Minnie. You see Daisy. You see Goofy. You see Mickey, and you see the goat. And here's Mrs. Pote. Mrs. Pote's farm was called Pote's Goats. And there's the sign right there, Pote's Goats. "Yes, I delivered extra daffodils today," Mrs. Pote told Minnie. "My favorite goat, Flower, usually eats a lot of them as soon as they bloom. But today she didn't seem very hungry." Okay? That gave Minnie an idea. "May I see Flower?" She asked, and Mrs. Pote led the friends to a pen. But there was no goat inside. "My dear," Mrs. Pote cried, "she must have escaped." "Look, there's a hole in the fence," Mickey said, pointing. "Now, what do we do?" Daisy exclaimed. "Not only are Minnie's daffodils gone, but so is Mrs. Pote's goat." Said Minnie, deep in thought. "Maybe these two mysteries are connected." Okay. "What do you mean, Minnie?" Daisy asked. "I just figured out who the flower prowler might be," Minnie explained. "It's someone who really likes daffodils, someone who likes them even more than we do." So Daisy held up the fuzzy strands of hair. "Don't forget this," she reminded Minnie. "Isn't it still a clue?" It sure is, Minnie agreed. And so is this. She pointed toward a trail of footprints. Just follow me. Oh, there's some footprints. Oh, they don't look like humans. They look like an animal. Oh, there's some goats there. I guess they're having a meeting and trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so Minnie and the others followed the footprints straight to Daisy's yard. There was Flower, happily munching away. Flower's the goat. Yes, Minnie said. I knew it. There's our flower thief. Now if we could only train her to like weeds instead. And all of them laugh. Instead of liking my daffodils, why won't you like weeds? Because I like my daffodils. And that's the end of the story. They figured out who the thief of the daffodils was. And that was the goat. Okay? The end. And they thank you for reading their book. And we thank you as well for sharing in this time of storytelling here at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. I hope you've enjoyed reading this book with me, and you might even be encouraged to look up Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Daisy Duck sometime when you have a free moment. Have a great day.